Legion Lost #3, written by Fabian Nicieza, art by Pete Woods. We last left the Legion on a whole thing about an energy guy who got the virus and turned into an energy guy. We don't deal with that at all in this issue. So this issue picks up with, it's been 94 hours since the virus was released in this town, and a lot of people are starting to feel the effects of it. One girl is slipping away into a coma. Another dude's face is melting. Someone's not infected by it, but they also, they work with the government and realize, yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on there. And then there's some thing hunting out in the woods. And all of this is seen by Tellus, the big telepath guy who's feeling like literally the entirety of the world and showing everything that's going on via telepathic link to the Legion. And our POV character is Timberwolf, my least favorite character, but whatever. And he's just like, God, I'm so angry. I wish I could just stop all this and da-da-da-da-da. So they're sitting in a hotel room, and they're just trying to figure out what their next move is. The time bubble burst, and they need to know whether or not the villain from the first issue, Alistair, is still alive, because he could have been infected with the virus and then survived the thing that killed their teammates. So they're trying to figure out how they can deal with that. But then Timberwolf's just like, hey, they're saying that something is hunting out in the woods. Clearly it's they say hyper sapien because it's just a mix of alien DNA and human DNA, and they caused them to evolve into hyper sapiens. So whatever I end up calling them, that'll be what I mean. But Timberwolf's like, we can help with that. And the leader of the team is like, we shouldn't mess with the timeline as much as we can. I get it, that's what the Legion does. And he's like, we can do something here. And God knows we might be stuck here for God knows how long. Let's do something. And basically it's just Timberwolf just bitching for like a page and a half until finally at one point room service comes in as they're arguing, and Tellus is forced to use his telepathic powers in order to make it look like they're all just a bunch of normal teenagers hanging out in this hotel room instead of what they actually look like. So at that point, Timberwolf she's sent away. Timberwolf loses his cool as the report on TV about the murders gets into a little bit more detail about how the bone marrow is being sucked from him, and apparently that's a perfect match for some alien hybrid breed, the Okaran. It's not a word. It's literally just consonants. So, yeah, they know they have to do something about it because now it's related to the virus. Cut to Dawnstar, who's flying way up above the Earth's atmosphere. She's looking for the energy of that dude who dissipated in the last issue, but she's coming up empty. Tellus shows up and he's like, hey, we need to look for Hyper Sapiens now. That guy, maybe he's still dissipated. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll find him. Anyway, we're going to be doing that now while Timberwolf is sneaking into the police department to get to the morgue to not just look at one of the corpses that was attacked by this monster thing, but to specifically lick it because it has extra senses or something. I don't know. Point being is that he steals a police car. The leader's not too happy about that. The one dude with the energy stuff, I'm trying to learn their names. I really am. He's like, look, we may be here for a while. We're going to have to eventually do some stuff like this. So, yeah, we're going to have to figure out how to live here. Timberwolf, he hears a report over the police radio of there's that same alien metahuman thing is at the mall. So he says all right, computer, direct me to the mall. And it does nothing. And he's like, oh my God, I have to do this manually? 2011 sucks. So he gets to the mall. He doesn't slow down the police car as he approaches. He just rams it through the front of the building. And as he crashes inside, we see that there's this big wolf-looking alien and a pterodactyl-looking one. Apparently the pterodactyl is, as he puts it, the pigeon of the universe. Completely harmless. So he doesn't have to worry about that. But the is much more dangerous. So he goes to fight it, and it's obvious that he's not going for Timberwolf. He's more so going for the other one, and he's trying to figure out why. And apparently it's because there's a certain sort of DNA it's looking for called Durlin DNA. And it does a quick cutaway of apparently there's a news station who's reporting this, and that's how the rest of the Legion find out that Timberwolf is there. So Timberwolf puts it together, and he's like, okay, you can smell people who've been infected, and you can smell specifically Durlin DNA, but why do you want Durlin DNA? It lunges after him. He goes and he fights it a little bit more, and he tries to tell it, look, the police are going to shoot you, so you have until the count of 3 or else I'll take you out. 1, 2, and then he fires out his own fingernails, which apparently is not one of his powers, but is now one of his powers because he has been infected by this virus. So they fire off and they barb into the redrage, but he can already feel new ones growing, and he's like, okay, I guess that's a thing I can do now. But as the redrage is hurt, it starts like moving around and like almost looks like it's shape-shifting, and then out of it pops out what looks to be Chameleon Girl, who I think died in the first issue, and she's screaming, help me. And apparently Durlin DNA is to help bring her back to life. I'm guessing she's Durlin. I couldn't tell you for sure, though, but that's the big end reveal, is that Chameleon Girl is trying to come back to life in this monster, or she is this monster, or something. I don't know. I appreciate this book. I want to be very clear. This book took the time to like say their names at the beginning. Wildfire, Tyrock, Dawn, and Star, Tellus. It took the time to explain exactly what this virus does and how it's affecting people in the town. This is all I've been asking for the past 2 issues because I've been so very confused. That being said, why do we have to have Timberwolf be the POV character? Because I honestly wasn't going over most of the part where he's just whining all the time. Like, he's just constantly going on of, I'm so angry, and I just want to go. Like, the worst one is, I want to howl at all of them. Wolves need to be in a pack, but we also need to hunt. Shut up. I'm giving this one a 6. Not because it's truly awful, because it is doing things that I have wanted for a while now, but just because I really wish it wasn't told from Timberwolf's perspective. It just sours the whole thing because he doesn't shut up. Every page has him just talking and talking and talking. Anyone else I find more interesting. Anyone else I do find more interesting. It's just him that just shut up already.